This is the Louisville Metro Government meeting agenda is the Equity, Community Affairs, Housing, Health, and Education Committee. I am the chair, Councilwoman Barbara Shanklin. My vice chair, Councilman Stuart Benson. He's got an excused absence. Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins. Tammy, can you cut on your where we can see you?
I can't see nobody.
We can't see you.
I'm over.
I can see you now.
I can't see you.
You can't.
I'll give you a call, Councilwoman.
Okay.
I can't see nobody. I only see Sonia's picture. I don't see nothing. I don't even see the inside of chambers.
Okay. Well, we can see you.
I'm giving you a call.
Councilmember Dan Symes, I'm sorry. Councilmember Marcus Winkler. I don't see Marcus. And Councilmember Jenny Woolridge. Is it okay if I say Jenny Woolridge, or should I say your whole name?
Jenny Woolridge is fine.
Okay, thank you. We have today we have one special discussion, and we have 4 street signs. Councilwoman Purvis is on the way. Councilwoman Hawkins, do you want to speak on Shirley Mays? Councilwoman Hawkins, want to speak?
Excuse me, Chair. I need to read the virtual meeting, and also
Go ahead.
this meeting is being held pursuant to KRS 61.826 and Council Rule 5A, read in full.
Thank you. And then we need to vote on it.
No, now I need to read the first item.
That's
Okay, and then we'll take
what I was trying to say. If you give me a second, okay. We're going to be reading the first item, and then we'll vote on it. Thank you. You know, when you run in a committee and you got a phone and you don't have your paperwork in front of you, it takes you a little bit longer than it would if I was sitting there, okay? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Oh, it's me. Okay, number 2, please.
Item 2, a resolution honoring Shirley May Beard by dedicating the corner of Clay Street and Lambton Street as Shirley May's Way in her honor, read in full.
Thank you. Do we have a vote on it? Did anybody make a motion?
Make a motion.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
Okay. Councilwoman Hawkins, are you going to speak on that one?
Yeah, I can. I thought Ken Herndon was.
He's not there.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I guess. So Shirley May Beard, she was a huge community, a leader, huge advocate in the Smoketown area. I definitely am in support of this. I'm glad to be a sponsor. I think that her family would be very appreciative of this. And I think this is just another great street sign.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I do want to say that Shirley May's family lives in Newburgh, and it's an honor for me also to be a sponsor on this resolution because she does live in Newburgh, and we've known her ever since I've been living in Newburgh. And so I'm glad that Ken asked me to be a co-sponsor on it also. So now do we have anyone else that needs to speak on it? Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, have to vote on it. All in favor of sending it to the consent calendar?
Aye.
Aye.
So we will be sending it to the consent calendar. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can we read the next one, or is Donna in the chambers yet?
Yes, ma'am, she's here.
Oh, but I can't see her.
I can't see anybody.
Okay. I can see you now. I don't know about the rest of them, but I can see you.
I can't see you. I see Sonia.
I can see and hear you all.
Okay, well, I can't see you either. As long as you can. Madam Clerk, Cheryl, can you read number 3, please?
Sure. Item 3, a resolution honoring Ms. Thelma May Goff by naming the corner of 45th Street and Garland Avenue as Thelma May Goff Way in her honor, read in full.
You have a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Second. I can see Dan Sam moving his mouth. Okay. So, yeah, you said motion, didn't you? I can't hear him. But anyway, that's what happens when you do it from home. You can't hear anybody. But, Donna, you want to discuss this?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Thelma May Goff will be turning 103, God's will, this year. And so some of her family members reached out to me and asked that we recognize her age and her her ability to still be here in her right mind and share a lot of history with the family. And so they're asking that she is recognized with an honorary street sign in the immediate block that she lives, at the 4500 block of Garland Avenue. So I'm hoping that my colleagues will support the effort to celebrate her life.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion or anyone have any concerns? Hearing none, we'll be ready to vote on it. All in favor of sending this to the consent calendar?
Aye.
Aye.
And hearing no no's, so it will be sent to the consent calendar. Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, number 4.
Item 4, a resolution honor Carl L. R. Hines Sr. by dedicating the corner of Southwestern Parkway and Del Park Terrence as Carl R. Hines Sr. Way, Kentucky House of Representatives, in his honor. Read in full.
Thank you. Councilwoman Curtis, you want to discuss that one, please? Oh, we got to vote on it first. All in favor?
We need a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
That's what I meant to say.
I can,
Somebody's out seconded. Okay.
I can speak.
Councilwoman,
I can speak on it if you'd like.
yes, I do.
As we all know that Carl Hines Sr. Dedicated his life, many years of being a public servant, as well as a gentleman that was in the real estate business and helping secure families with permanent residence in the West End neighborhoods, offering his expertise in real estate. And so we're looking to honor his legacy by having a public honorary street sign placed.
Okay, I think this is going to happen. All right.
Having an honorary street sign placed in the immediate block where he resided in the 400 block of, 600 block of Southwestern Parkway. And I hope my colleagues support and vote to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. For some reason, my computer's just crazy. It's just moving and I don't know what it is. I always have problems with it. It's time to vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's no one against it. We'll send it to the consent calendar. That's okay with you, Madam Councilwoman?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm still fooling with this thing and it keeps going in and out. Okay, I don't see Tammy again. So I apologize, but might need me a new iPad because every time I get on here, it acts crazy. The last one is number 5. Madam Clerk, can you read that one, please?
Sure. Item 5, a resolution honor Jerry L. Macon Sr. by naming northwest corner of 40th Street and West Broadway as Jerry L. Macon Sr. Way, West Broadway Church of Christ, in his honor. Read in full.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a
Motion.
Do Do we have a motion? I heard you. Councilman- Okay. Councilwoman Purvis, can you read it or talk to us about it?
Yes, ma'am. This honorary sign is to recognize and honor Pastor Jerry Macon Sr., who has been the longest-serving pastor of the West Broadway Church of Christ, right there at the corner of 40th and Broadway. So the congregation requested that we honor him with his commitment and his years of service by placing an honorary street sign by the church. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more questions, concerns, or? I guess not. So, all in favor?
Aye.
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 So, we will send this to the consent calendar. Let me see if my computer's going to let me do this. Okay. The next piece of legislation well, it's not a piece of legislation, it's a special discussion. We have a guest here.
I don't know that.
Sorry about that. Thank you, we have a guest here. Madam Clerk, can you tell me her name? Because I can't see it on this thing. Can you identify yourself, ma'am?
Yeah, assuming that's me, but hi everyone, I'm Shay Zwerver. I'm with the company Flagger Force, so I can get started whenever you want, unless Councilwoman you wanted to say anything else.
No, that's it. Like I said, I'm having problems with this computer. I can cut this off. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, isn't technology's great when it works, but I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you in person today. I hope it's a little warmer than it is in Pennsylvania. It's about 18 degrees here. But, let me share my screen. I have a presentation that I'll just talk through. Okay. And hopefully, okay. Go. All right, so hi everyone, I'm Shay Zwerver. I'm with the company Flagger Force, and I will get into that in a couple minutes, but I am here to talk about fair chance or second chance hiring. I use the term interchangeably. Second chance, some people say that they were never given a first chance, and so hence the term also fair chance. But again, I use them interchangeably. So I first wanted just to, a lot of you are probably familiar with these statistics that I'll be sharing, but it is helpful just to do level setting and make sure, it helps paint the picture of the scope of those who are justice impacted. So I appreciate your patience if you're already familiar with all these statistics. I'll just run through them. So 70 million people in the U.S. have a criminal record, and it's actually like 70 to 100 million people, but for this we'll go with 70 million. The statistics are changing daily, but to give you an idea of that, the U.S. population is about 335. So that's 21% of the U.S. population have some kind of criminal record. About 6.9 people are on some kind of supervision, whether that's probation, parole, or they're behind bars. When I looked up in Kentucky, it was about 37 people are in a state, federal, or county facility. Feel free to correct me if I need to update that. And then 60,000 or 600,000 people are released from just state and federal prisons annually. I have the cost of incarceration here. To me that it's really helpful to understand, this is the 23,000 is what it costs annually to house someone at a Arkansas state prison, and then upwards of 300,000 in Massachusetts. So that's the annual cost of putting someone or housing them just in a state prison. And I share that just to help people understand that these costs are being supported by taxpayers. And if we can help give them employment, then we can reduce that cost burden and help get more people contributing to the tax base. So people who have been formally incarcerated, they have an unemployment rate of 27%, which is really high. If you think about the unemployment rate at the height of COVID, it was about 15%. And then the unemployment rate at the height of the Great Depression was 25%. So this population has a high rate of unemployment. And if you look at the Kentucky unemployment rate, which is about 5%, and then which is in the top 5 highest unemployment rates in the U.S. that I had seen. But this is to say, tapping into the population of those, or the talent pool of those with criminal records or have been formally incarcerated, is a really smart talent acquisition strategy. You saw 600,000 people will be released annually, but out of all the people who are incarcerated, 95% are going to be returning back to society. And so it is really impactful and meaningful and important that we engage these individuals, before they're released, or if they're justice impacted, or even, connecting them with employers like Flagger Force, which I'll talk about once they get out. And then the last kind of slide for, helping lay the foundation here is that employers usually have 3 main concerns when it comes to hiring individuals with criminal records, and that is the liability from negligent hiring, the quality of work these individuals will provide, and the reputation. And then I provided just some evidentiary support that all of these come from the Society of Human Resources Management or research studies that have been done in this field, but I'll quickly run through them. That from the time between 1974 to about 2022, there was only 435 trial court cases or decisions that found employers actually liable for negligent hiring, which averages about 9 cases a year. So the concern is there for negligent hiring, and that's if, knowingly you hire someone with a record and then it comes back where they, participate or perform that crime when they're on work hours. So, and anyone, from what I've read, businesses, it's like any other business risk where they can take the right, institute the right policies and practices to mitigate the risk of negligent hiring. And so even though negligent hiring is a high concern of a lot of employers, you can see that it doesn't actually turn out to be a big impact, and it's not reality. And if you treat it like any other business risk, you can mitigate it. And then once individuals with a prior conviction remain crime-free for about 4 to 7 years, their risk of recidivating and committing a crime again is not greater than the risk of an individual from the general population. So usually if they can stay crime-free for 4 to 7 years, that's a pretty good time frame where, their risk of going back into incarceration is the same as anybody else. And then 4 and 5, human resources professionals. Again, this was from the SHRM report, Society of Human Resources Management, but they found when they looked at individuals with criminal records or employees with criminal records, the quality of work was the same or better than those without criminal records. And then also the business networking opportunities. It is helpful when you participate, when you do second chance hiring, like Flagger Force. We are able to become a part of so many different networks and alliances. I've highlighted a couple here that have really great resources. If anybody wants to look them up, they are the Second Chance Business Coalition and the Workforce Justice Alliance, and that's allowed us to network with other companies. And also it has helped us elevate our brand because we're able to get involved on criminal reform issues and be an advocate for second chance hiring. And then lastly, employment of people coming out of incarceration is one, if not the contributing factor to them recidivating. So again, going back, I think I wanted to include these because if we have a large population who are incarcerated or justice impacted, and 95% of those that are incarcerated are going to return to society today, and they have a high unemployment rate, if employers can take on an active role and engage this population and provide them with career opportunities and career pathways, then we can help reduce recidivism and kind of help break that cycle. Are there any, I can pause for any questions there, or just I'll keep going into, now I'll get into Flagger Force, our company. All right. So Flagger Force.
I have
Sure.
some questions. Madam Chair, can I speak?
We hear you, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So one of the questions, a series of questions that I had. Okay, so are you local?
Yes, we do have operations in Kentucky. We
Okay,
have.
You said operations. Okay, what type of operations? Is it locally here?
Yeah. Yeah, and I can on my next slide will highlight kind of the map there, so you'll see that this is our company's footprint. So our headquarters are in Pennsylvania. That's where I am. We entered Kentucky in the last 2 years. We partnered up with Michelle James and her company, NTC Traffic, and so we have about 51 employees there now. We're always growing, and the facility, the local facility, is at the 4700 block of Pinewood Road in Louisville. I think it's frozen on my end.
I can hear you still.
Can you hear me? Council, were you finished, Councilwoman?
Tammy, can you still hear us?
Well, since you can't, I'm going to ask the question. Is this court appointed, or is it just somebody that's come in and put in an application? Can you hear me?
It's just someone doing it's someone doing an application, and I think I have probably 5 more slides that will highlight our application process and our career pathway. So I'll get into that, but so Flagger Force is what it sounds like. We're a team, we're a force of people who are performing flagging or short-term traffic control. And so we are providing an essential service to help keep our roadway workers, whether that's construction, a lot of utility companies, keeping them safe while they perform their job, as well as guiding motorists around them so that we can help minimize, disruption when it comes to traffic. In total, and Tammy, thanks for asking that question. I mean, we do have about 2,300 employees that are dispersed over the footprint, which you can see on the map here, but the kind of brick and mortar facility in Louisville, Kentucky is at the 4700 block of Pinewood Road. And we have about 1,000 trucks, again, that's spanning our whole company's footprint, 500 active jobs per day. So that can be, if we're working with a utility company and they're performing, if they're fixing an underground gas pipe, we'll set up the cones and kind of do the flagging and help direct motorists around their work.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Kind of loud down. I said, can you hear me now? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. So I know. The process, the hiring process with the company. I know you did mention Michelle James. So basically, you're just a branch of her company.
Flagger Force acquired NTC Traffic in October of 2024, so we have merged.
So is Michelle James still a part of the company or not?
Michelle is, our local partner doing work for her. And she's on too, so.
That's fine. Hi, Michelle. So yeah, I just wanted to be very clear and very candid with that, so we know that. So
my company was sold. So I am an independent contractor with Flagger Force, but my company sold.
I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilwoman.
It's okay. So, So for full transparency, is Michelle James a part of this company or not? Or is she contracted by you all? Because she just said she's contracted. You just said that she was. So which one is it? So I can know. I just no bullshit. I just want to know.
No, yeah, I wasn't trying to be, sneaky at all. I think the way I guess I work is I partner closely with Michelle, and she's able to be like on the ground in Louisville still. So, but if you're looking, if you want to get down to like the brass tacks of like, I don't think she's receiving benefits. So I guess it would be a contractor.
Okay. Well, if she's contracted, that's benefits. My next question is that so from the start of when you are reach out, let me make it very clear, I'm a second chancer. So programs like this is vital. It's vital in neighborhoods like I've come from. Okay. Love the fact that I'm a second chancer. Look at my life now and know that your life can do a 360 if it's impacted with great programs like this. So do you all teach them how to do resume building when they come out? What is the process when they come out of incarceration? What is the process to get them to where they need to be to come into the society? Can you lead me there?
I can, and if you all wouldn't mind, maybe if I'll just run through the rest of my slides, which are only about 5 of them, I think that it will clear up some questions.
I mean, we normally just really like to get to it, unless I don't know how much more time did we get. I mean, I know answering questions is more vital to me than going through slides.
Well, no, yeah, I think the slides will answer.
I just want to know the process coming out. I mean, if that's what the slides consist of, then.
Okay. Yep. Okay, great. I will. So this slide, I think, is all the services and benefits we provide to support individuals, not just those who are justice impacted. This is a screenshot of our application. So, Councilwoman, I am working on building relationships with state prisons, with county jails, with community-based organizations who are serving people who are justice impacted. So that's on the front end, trying to be proactive so we can make a connection with individuals as soon as they get out of incarceration. I also get letters all the time from people who are incarcerated that'll say, are you hiring in my area? And so I write them back with instructions. So that's mostly we're engaging with people as soon as they get out. But we do go into prisons and jails and talk about the company and opportunities with the company. The application, this is what we direct them to and say, so we wouldn't help them with the resume building. And in fact, when they apply with us through this, it doesn't require a resume or cover letter. They're just entering, the application takes about 5 minutes, and they're entering their where they are. And that helps us look at their address and say, do we have enough work to hire them full-time in their area? And if we can't say, if we don't have like 35 hours per week of work, then we won't hire them, because we do hire everyone on full-time as a company employee. We don't have any temp workers. And then these are strictly field employees, so the people performing the flagging and setting up job sites, not like Michelle. This is how the hiring process looks. So that screenshot I showed you of the application page, that's what it looks like. If they go to flaggerforce.com, there's in the upper right-hand corner, it says apply, and then they see that screen, enter their contact information. That takes 5 minutes. The second step is a phone interview with our recruiting team. That takes 10 to 15 minutes. And we intentionally wanted to make this process accessible and very simple, because we recognize that, maybe someone who has been incarcerated for decades might not easily know how to might not have a resume, or might not know how to navigate the online resources. And so even though the application is online, we have tried to make it very user-friendly. The phone interview takes 10 to 15 minutes, and that's more so confirming with the applicant that they're available Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., that they can, that they are able to stand on their feet, that they're going to be okay working outside in the weather in all conditions. So that's kind of what the phone interview is. And then on the phone interview, they are scheduled for day one with us, which we call crew member training, and we provide them with their flagging certification at no cost. So that flagging certification, it differs by state, but usually it's valid for 3 years. So even if they left Flagger Force, that they can take that certification with them. But we will train them. That's day one with us, and they get paid for that. So someone could apply on Monday and do the phone interview on Monday and then be at CMT on Tuesday. So a lot of people that, like I get letters from individuals and I say, wait until you get out to apply, because if you still have months to serve out or a year, your application, will be on file, but because the application and hiring process is so quick.
Okay.
So when people come to crew member training, they need to have a smartphone, above ankle safety toed boots, and a multi-channel walkie-talkie. And the boots and the walkie-talkie, like I went through this when I started at Flagger Force, sometimes community-based organizations, if they're the referral partner, they might cover the costs of those, but you can find they're not anything special, meaning like our walkie-talkies aren't like military grade. You can find them at Walmart or online, same with the safety toed boots. So those yes, that is an upfront cost, and it would be great if we could find a way to, address that, but usually that it averages about $60 for those two things. And then the smartphone, most people we find do already have a smartphone. But that is how they are dispatched to job sites. On their smartphone, there's an app, and we send them their job. And so the smartphone is critical to perform the job. This is our career pathways. So everyone who's interested in starting with us in the field will start out as a crew member. Again, that's the training, the flagging certification. And then there is no time period that they have to be in between the positions. I mean, they could be promoted to crew leader in as little as, 60 days. If they're motivated, they're really interested in climbing with us, they're timely, we'll promote them to crew leader. That position gets you a company truck. You can take that home with you every day. That's how you get to the job site. So that's their company truck that they're taking to and from work. That it also comes with an increase in salary. Then advanced crew leader is the next step, and then from there we have all these different departments. We have a training department. We have field operations, which is extending kind of, you're going into more management, safety, warehousing. So we have laid this career pathway out because we have found it's helpful for people to see where they can progress and have something to be motivated to work towards. Let's see, this is our mobile app, but for sake of time, I want to skip to this transportation support program that we offer, is because we've recognized that individuals coming out of incarceration may not have a valid driver's license, whether it's because it expired while they were incarcerated or if it was suspended, because of fines and fees or the crime. But if they don't have either a valid driver's license or daily access to a reliable vehicle, what we can do is pair people who are already in a company truck, so that's a crew leader or an advanced crew leader. We pair them with a new hire that has that transportation barrier, and then they act as their mentor, and they pick them up after work. They drop them off every day, and then they provide kind of on-the-job training as opportunities arise. So that's that. I think that is a unique program that I haven't seen a lot of other employers do. I think transportation is a big barrier for a lot of people, not just those who are justice impacted, and we've tried to, leverage our large vehicle fleet to address that barrier. And then these are some other programs and services that I think are unique. We do have a GED program, so anyone who wants to get their GED with us will pay for it. It's a virtual. They receive one-on-one tutoring, but they do it on their own time. And then we have an employee hardship grant, which is essentially a pot of money, and any employee who experiences an unexpected hardship can apply to this pot of money and receive assistance. And we've done it for people whose house flooded and had to stay in a hotel, or someone who was moving out of transitional housing who needed furniture. So it is an application process, but in the past, last year we gave out, it was like $60,000 to 32 individuals, and usually every year it's about 30 individuals that apply, and we give out between like $60,000 to $90,000. And that pot of money is funded by employees, so I can sign up to say every paycheck take $5 out and put it into this pot. And then we do pay people weekly. This isn't a family sustaining, job. We want people to promote and move up the career ladder. And so recognizing that at that like income bracket, being paid on a weekly basis is more helpful. And thanks for letting me give some of those. I'm happy to answer more questions.
Well, my question is, as far as, I know you said if you didn't have 35 hours or more, then you would not hire them. But what happens if you don't have enough workers that day? And also, I want to know, how many workers do you have right here in the city? Because is it a small business that you have here in the city, or have you enlarged it, or what?
Yes, and as we are able to get contracts with utility companies, then we can take on more work and employ more people. And so we're really trying to build our, grow in Louisville and Kentucky. And I can look up, let me look up, there's 51 individuals that we hire in Louisville.
I'm sorry. This is Sonia, the clerk. Would you please stop sharing so we can see all of the face? Thank you. Just for open meetings. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I didn't. Wait a minute, Councilwoman. I didn't understand what you said about if you didn't have 35 hours a week, then you would not hire them. So what happens if you don't have enough people? That's one of the things I want to ask.
Yes.
Will they keep them or what?
We do keep people. We have a bench. And so that's one, working in this industry, you're not, depending especially on the seasons, you may not get 35 hours a week. So we can't guarantee that. We will still hire people. When we hire people at the onset, we do want to make sure we can give them on average 35 hours a week or 30 hours, because we recognize having a stable employer and job is important. But there are definitely moments, Councilwoman, where they might not get 40 hours that week, but that just means, they're paid hourly, so they're still on the bench. And that's one thing in our industry of you're right, having that flex, the ability to flex. So one week, there could be a storm and we have a ton of work because we're supporting the utility companies as they respond to the storm damage. And then other weeks, maybe people don't get 40 hours a week, but we still keep them on with us.
Councilwoman Hawkins and then Councilwoman Warwick, you're after her, okay?
Yeah, so I got to get back on this real quick. So, and then I guess, Michelle, that's where you come in at. Can you give us a little, if it's okay, you said you was contracted through this company. She said you was still part owner of the company, but can you give us, it looks like you know more about this company because you had it or it's yours than anybody. So can you just lay out from top to bottom what this company brings, the process a little bit more, because you are here, boots on the ground. She's not here. So, which really makes it true. So if you could just go ahead and just lay it out as far as from the beginning to end, about this company. Just, please.
So first and foremost, I'm not an owner. I sold my company to Flagler Force October 2024.
Okay. So hold on, stop right there. So you said you sold the company to this lady right here, right?
Not to her, but to Flagler Force.
Ain't this
They acquired my company And I was then after that, I was no longer a part of that company. They
So
hired
why
me.
you-
They hired me as a contractor because I've got relationships with our clients here and boots on the ground. You know, when I had my company, I worked hard and built a client list. So that is something I am helping Flagler Force with, is the clients that I'd already acquired, relationships.
Okay. So you're transitioning them so they can be on full go, basically.
No, they were on full go the minute they bought our company.
Well, how could they be on full go the minute that they bought your company if they still need you?
They also, I mean, they hired people locally, Councilwoman. So, you know,
Is it just you or who else? Just for full transparency, because I hate being blindsided and knocked upside the head. So that's why I'm asking all these questions up front. I won't ask nobody else. I want to ask y'all why y'all here. Who else is hired? Who else is a part of this company from Louisville?
I don't know. I'm not in part of the day-to-day operations at Flagler Force. I'm not an owner. I work, you know, when they need me. So I don't know. I know they kept several employees, but I would not be able to answer that because I'm not an owner, and I do not have anything to do with the day-to-day operations of Flagler Force, Councilwoman. My job was to the client base. They asked me if, you know, boots on the ground, and the client base I was able to build. But they are an amazing company, and the minute they walked in the door, they were training people and getting people hired and brought new things in. And I believe you all offer insurance and things now, Shay. They offered, I was a small women-owned business, and they were able to offer and do things for our employees that, you know, we just didn't have the capability of doing.
Right. So it was an awesome company. It was yours. So of course it was awesome. Before they partnered or took over or whatever. So my next
they didn't
question
partner.
is,
They bought it. In fact, there is in Business First, I believe there's an
hard to
article.
Well, let me say this, Michelle, with full transparency. It's a little hard because when I asked this young lady that's on the phone straight up, was you a part of the company? She said yes. Then you came in and said no, I'm not. So
I'm a contract.
Right.
I'm a contractor. I'm a 1099 councilwoman. So okay. I'm not. So
I just want to know because I'm on that
councilwoman.
I'm not an employee. I don't get benefits. I'm a 1099 contract employer. I have my own business, and that's what I'm hired through. So I am hired independent 1099 contractor.
Okay. Thanks for getting that clarity. So can
yes,
you
ma'am.
The company?
Can I, what? I'm sorry, ma'am.
They hired you to contract you to do what? Just to get them, you know, with your expertise, to get them. Yes. Okay. And what was that?
The client base, to help with clients and be boots on the ground. I'm confused because like I said, I'm not in the operations day to day to Flagler Force. I mean, they came in and they hired quite a few people. I believe is Mr. Corrigan on here. I mean, he might be on here too. He was supposed to come on. So
Tim Corrigan.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Is Tim on there? So Tim Corrigan is also like me. He a 1099 employee. So yeah, that's.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, we have Councilwoman Woolridge waiting to ask the question. All right, Councilwoman Woolridge.
I guess two questions. One of my questions is, so Flagler Force was already an established company that came in, correct? And then again purchased Ms. James' company and just let it continue to grow. Correct statement? Thank you. Just wanted to get clarity there, right? Second question is, have you been able to, or have you looked at I know Councilman Syme, you've partnered and worked closely with organizations such as Prisoners of Hope before. Is that something that you all have been able or talked to in the Louisville area? And Councilman Syme, you may be able to speak more to that, but it's an organization that helps those individuals that are coming out of prison, and maybe that's a partnership that you can look at in the future. So just wanted to put that out there.
Councilman Syme.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me? Appreciate what you're trying to do for the parolees. And I want to piggyback off what Councilwoman Woolridge. Prisoners Hope they're working with inmates. Have you heard of this group? Ms. James, have you heard of Prisoners Hope? And have you, our speaker?
Ms. James, are you there?
I think she's.
Hi, yes, ma'am. I've heard of Prisoners Hope. I love what they do. I've met with them several times, and yeah, I have not had the opportunity to introduce Flagler Force to Prisoners Hope, but because I have not been working with them that long in this capacity. Mm-hmm. So I would love the opportunity to introduce them, Councilman. And like, I have had so many conversations with them over the years. I love their work.
Yeah, Daryl Davis is a good person and would fit in good with what you're trying to do locally. And I would love to see, and I can help get a meeting with them if you'd like. I think that'd be a good fit. One of the questions I have too, are you working with any faith-based organizations to help these people with the money it's going to take to get their boots and stuff? Because when they come out of prison, they don't have much of anything.
Councilman, I have not had the opportunity to introduce them to these folks, but there are several organizations that we can definitely bring Flagler Force to, and I'll let Shay jump in as well.
Okay.
Thanks for I appreciate hearing the names of organizations. That is why when Flagler Force acquired NTC, we, yes, kept Michelle on as a contractor because recognize I can't be in Kentucky or all of our states all the time. And so having someone who is familiar with the landscape, who can make those connections to the community organizations is really vital. And so I am really excited to start doing that more.
So are you asking for Metro to fund this operation in Louisville? Is that in Jefferson County?
Well, I wanted to come on and, socialize Flagler Force with everyone and share about our fair chance hiring, and that we're an employer who will hire individuals with records and convictions. And if there are people looking for jobs, we're, happy to get connected. And we're just newer to the area. I mean, not newer.
And I really appreciate that. On part-time workers, are benefits available for part-time workers, or do they have to get into full-time? Are they considered a full-time employee, although they're only getting part-time hours? I'm looking for some stability for these folks too. If they've got families or starting, is there going to be stability? I know that in Metro, if we hire a part-time person, they don't get any benefits. And I'm worried about that. So could you speak a little more to that?
Sure. We do not hire anyone part-time currently. We are looking into, as the industry and workforce and labor trends change, people do want more of the flex opportunities and like the gig economy. So we are looking into flex or part-time. We don't offer that currently. We hire everybody on as full-time, and you do get the benefits after your 6-month mark with us. And you have to average, it's like 30 hours a week, I think, over the course of so many months to be, that insurance will cover it. And average it over months so that if you do have a week where you only get 20 hours, which is, under the 30-hour threshold, that's not going to impact your benefits.
But it's going to impact their food.
Their pay.
Yeah. That would be concerning, because I'd hate to get somebody locked into a group and they're not being able to feed their families. That does concern me. But I appreciate what you're doing, what you're trying to do with the folks that are coming out. I hope that you will get with us, follow up on Prisoners Hope and what they're doing out there, because they're doing a lot of the preliminary work that you require. I am concerned about the transportation to these places. Maybe we could get some vouchers for the buses and some other way to get them to the work, because not only do they not have clothes when they come out, but they don't have a car, they don't have money to get anything else, and they've got to have a support system. And I don't want to just put them to work without any resources. And that's another reason why I would hope that you would work with Prisoners Hope, because they provide resources for these people. And I don't want these people to be, and I'm not saying you're using them, they need opportunities, but we need to equip them with everything they need to be successful too, as we take them off into this realm and keep them.
Yeah, I completely agree.
As long as we got to look out for that aspect too. When I hear that first thing they're going to have to do is $60 for boots and this and that. Well, they're not going to have it when they come out. So you guys have got to work with Prisoners Hope and these faith-based organizations, or any organization that's willing to help these folks coming out, because any requirement is going to be an impediment, because they just have none.
Yep.
So
And
thank
Dan,
you for what you're doing.
Dan, let's get a meeting set up with Michelle or.
Lost you.
We lost you. We can't hear you.
No, it would help if
I'm sorry.
I'd had the mute button. So, Dan, let's get a meeting set up with Prisoners of Hope and Shay, and we'll make that connection happen.
Be perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that is why, we're a company, I think, that cares about the community and individuals and our workforce, so we're not just posting on Indeed and getting anybody. We're building the relationships with the community-based organizations, and we will prioritize those applicants for the reasons that you mentioned, Council Member, that because we know they have those support systems, we know they can be, a better worker and bring like a more productive self to work, and that those support systems help them. And so we can prioritize their application if they're coming from those community partners. And the transportation support program, while, we would love to grow, like we do have, we pair people who need transportation with someone in a company truck. And that's what we've created to try to provide transportation support. But that's certainly not addressing everybody's needs.
Let me ask.
Thank you, Shay. We'll work through Miss James.
But let me ask.
Thank you,
Councilwoman. Thank you, Councilwoman Loridge.
Okay. Let me ask this: how long do they have to be working before they're able to get benefits? That's the main thing, because I noticed that the benefits that you have is helping them get their GED, EAP program, and all of that, and those are all good. Those are good things. But how long do they have to work before they qualify for benefits?
For the medical, dental, and vision, it's 6 months. And some individuals will stay on state-offered benefit programs until the 6 month kicks in.
So after
For the company.
After 6 months, they qualify for dental, health benefits, education, whatever you have to offer the full time, they qualify for those. That's what you're saying, right?
The education, our employee assistance program, those are offered up front. There's no wait. It's only the medical, dental, and vision, which is a third party we work with, that you have to wait 6 months for.
Okay, but everything else, day one. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Councilman Stein.
One more question, please.
Yes.
Insured, if within the 6 months, I'm sure you carry insurance policies on each one of your clients that are out working on the highways and on the streets, that you do have them insured for that 6 months, correct?
Yes. Well, the company, yeah, has liability insurance.
For each individual that's.
I'll have to check. Yeah, I don't work in our like claims and insurance, but I can get that answer for you.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I think most businesses operate like that.
We only have a couple of more minutes, but I do want to invite you back. I know you're in Pennsylvania, but we can do it over Zoom or whatever. But I would like to invite you back to see how it's going with the employees here in the next 6 months. If how many has been hired or how many's no longer there or whatever. We just would like to, since you are a new company, to see how it's going as far as from 6 months from now. So you guys okay with bringing them back in to give us, our concerns? No, okay. Ms. Ward.
And I am happy. I am happy to come in person. I would have come this time if it wasn't for the weather, but thanks for your questions, and I do appreciate I think, it's valid that I'm glad you all are looking out for your community members and workers, and I appreciate the tough questions.
Well, we're going to always get a tough question from Councilwoman Hawkins because, like she said, she's out there boots on the ground, so she works with these people every day, and she knows a lot more than some of us know, and she's going to always give you some rough questions. So we look at personal. Yeah, it's not anything personal. That's just she knows because she's out there, and so we're looking forward to bringing you back in about 6 months to see how we going with the, with Hope. What is it? Hope program.
Prisoner's Hope.
Yeah, whatever that's here. Because I know at one time, Michelle, you went to Community Baptist to meet with Reverend Lacey now about some of the prisoners.
That would, yes, Councilwoman, that would be a great idea to have Shay next time she's in town to take her over there. That is a great group, and they're doing some good things and have some really good people that are looking for jobs.
Right.
Good jobs.
Yeah. So we're out of time, and I appreciate you coming here, but not coming here, but being on Zoom. Sorry for the problems that I was having with the computer at first. Now everything's working, but earlier, sometimes I could hear you, sometimes I couldn't. So, and I want to thank the clerk, Cheryl. Cheryl, earlier, I just had so much going on with this damn computer. I'm sorry if it felt like I was snapping or whatever, so I apologize for that. And I appreciate everybody coming out. And if there are no more questions or concerns, we are adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.